Happy Thursday, everyone. It's Corey Strothman again, and wanted to do a vlog this morning to touch upon my number one resource of support that's got me through my struggles and got me to the point that I am today and will continue to grow. Before I do that, though, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone that watches this message, to everyone that has reached out. Been very overwhelming with people reaching out, friends and family, people just saying they're praying for me, and a lot of people that seem to be in a position of being lost and are starting to realize that they might have some of these symptoms. And that's great that they're recognizing that. It's okay. It's a part of life, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. So congrats to all of you with the courage to reach out and ask for opinions or advice. I will give the disclaimer, just like on the website, I'm not a professional. I am far from that of a professional in mental health. However, I can provide experience, opinions, and things that didn't work for me that could impact your life in a positive manner as well. If you have an immediate emergency, of course, you need to seek medical assistance and take the words of the professionals. But again, this is connecting us all together to let us know that we're not alone. We have been in the media quite a bit. It was a little bit emotional. Going through everything and talking about it does stir up some emotions. They're still in there from the night of January 25th, where I received my DUI, to the battles that I had leading up to that point. And even though it was hard to talk about, it was something that I decided that was my calling of God to go ahead, open up, and let the entire public know exactly my life story. What I will say is May is Mental Health Awareness Month, but we have to make sure that we don't limit this to May. This can't be a flash in the pan. A lot of people are visiting the site. They're following along because of the attention. But how do we keep that momentum going? This isn't something that comes and goes. This is everyday life. So we have to make sure that we don't do this for 2 weeks and follow along and then we just kind of push it to the side, because that's how it always stops. People bring it up, they have the topic, then they put it back on that comfortable shelf of non-discussed topics, and we live life just like it's always been. Change is hard, but we have to keep going. So I appreciate all of you that are in my corner. I ask, people have said, what can we do? How can we help? My message is clear. Help spread my message. Be along me and follow along in this journey as I go through it consistently. Stay by my side as I go through this. Don't come in and just check it out because it's in the news. That's not the purpose of it, is just to get one-time stop. I want it to be something that is ongoing and consistent, help support realization that you're not alone. So that's the way that you can help me out. That's the way that we can conquer this together. Let's keep the momentum going. So let's talk a little bit about what I claim and will always claim is my number one resource for myself and all to help battle through this. It is something that I haven't discussed a lot in the blog or the vlog or in the news articles, but it stays at the top, and it will never change, and that is faith. Faith is something that will always be there for you, no matter what you do, no matter any incident, any action. Faith doesn't go away. It's in your corner through thick and thin, and that's where I faltered some. So I would say that I was a social Christian. My family and I would go to service when we could. You've got 2 young kids to get up and get ready. excuses could flow in. Lauren and I would just stream it from the comfort of our home. And yeah, of course, we believed in God. We believed in the greater good. However, I believe that myself wasn't fully all in on Christianity. I wasn't all in on God. I thought to myself, well, I'm a principal of 550 people. I do good things all the time. I mean, sure, I'm acting in God's word. I am a believer, but I didn't ever talk about faith. I didn't ever openly discuss it, give credit to faith. Nothing that I've accomplished in my life was done on my own. It's with God in my corner, God on my side, leading and directing the way. And that's where I got into trouble, is when I didn't let God lead the way. I told God to step aside, that I am marching forward with the path of my life, and I ignored him. And that won't get you anywhere. So a part of me hitting the reset button on life was me finding my faith back, and me actually paying attention to what that means, what impact it should have on my life, how it should lead me to the greater good, how it should assist me in the mission that I help others. So when I was just separated from my event, and when I went to rehab for 18 days, I did a lot of soul searching, and I did a lot of reading. I read a lot of books. I prayed to God to help me through this. And you know, God watched me ignore him for the longest time, and very easily could have said, well, you didn't want my advice when things were okay. You didn't want my advice when you thought you knew what you were doing, and could have just said, you don't understand. But that's not what God is. God is there in good and bad. God is a person of opportunity. God gave me the opportunity time after time after time again to seek help, to speak up. And as I consistently turned those down, he would present me a new opportunity. And he did that all the way until it took a DUI for him to say, is this the opportunity that you need? And that's exactly what it was. It was for me to realize that I need God back in my life. So I read a lot of books about faith. I continued to grow stronger. I had probably 35 letters come to me, and 30 plus had some sort of scripture on them. And I was blown away, because I don't talk scripture with people. I talk things that I like and are comfortable with. Not that I don't like scripture, but things that are comfortable in conversation. I'm very quick to jump to sports. That's my wheelhouse. That's what I know. That's what I enjoy following. But why wasn't I previously talking about God and the great things that he's done for my family, for myself, for my friends? That's a great question. And it's not one that I have an answer to today, but I'm glad that I found God and have gotten back on the track that I need. Some of the books that I read, here's one, Unafraid by Adam Hamilton. Adam Hamilton is a lead pastor senior lead pastor at Church of the Resurrection, and I read a couple of his books, and they really spoke to me. Unafraid goes through many things about courage and overcoming fear. It talks a lot about the Kansas City areas, because that's where he is doing his work at. It was a great read, and it spoke to me, as well as watching a lot of his sermons online, that I felt like I was in a corner one-on-one. Had the opportunity to sit down and talk with him one-on-one, which amazed me. A leader of a congregation of over 20,000 members, and the person before me was from a national news company, and some lowly individual that had just received a DUI and was struggling with life had the opportunity to go in next. That's God. He's living in God's word. He doesn't put one person above the other because title, role, ethnicity, gender, all people deserve to be prayed for. All people deserve that help. Another one that he wrote was called Forgiveness, and it has great analogies of sin and divides it into 3 types of sin. It's a small pebble, medium pebble, and boulder, and equivalates it to everyone wearing a backpack. And when you sin, no matter what one it is, if it's a small little sin, you put a little pebble in your backpack. You put a medium-sized pebble in your backpack. For a DUI, you would have that large boulder on your backpack. For depression and the way I acted would be a large boulder. And that will weigh you down when you get all of those on your back. And one thing that we haven't talked about, and we will touch upon a lot in this blog, is you don't only put it in your backpack, but you put it in the backpack of the people that love you as well. And it's burdening them and it's weighing them down. So today isn't the day, but we will focus on what is it like to be a spouse of someone that's dealing with substance abuse or mental health issues. What is it like to be a family member, a mother, a father, sister, brother, an in-law? What is it like to be a friend? How can we help support? What can we do when we see the ones that we love hurting? So more of that is to come. One last book that I read that I really enjoyed was You'll Get Through This. Just a couple options for you if you're looking for some reading material, but that was the start. I started to realize that faith was number one, and I had to put it back where it needed to be. And started a routine. Every morning, during the day, every night, I'd acknowledge God and that He was there. I'd pray for Him, and I do. I have my routine now that I get up and I read some sort of passage. It might be scripture, it might be something else. And I ask God to help me through the day, to help me be the best day, help this be the best day yet. And at the end of the day, I just say thank you, no matter how the day went. Thank you for being by my side. Thank you for pulling me through when I was becoming upset. Thank you for leading me to a path that gave this a great day of celebration. No matter what the outcome, thankful is needed. Give thanks. So that is something that I will continue to talk about, because it's not something that I'm scared to say. It's not something that I don't want to bring up because it could be controversial. I want everyone to believe in what they believe in, and I'm not ever going to push faith on you. But again, I can't leave that out of my story, because that's what's helped me get to where I'm at. And I'm going to be authentic with it, and faith has been a massive, massive part. It's not just going to church on Sunday. It is being involved in all facets and helping me understand better the scripture and God's meaning, so I can live after and live through His words and help others. And when I thought about all of this, God spoke to me that I needed to use my incident and my platform to help others. God gives people enough strength to carry what they've been given. And He's graced me with strength. He's graced me with leadership. He's graced me with the ability to speak publicly without being afraid anymore. So I'm going to use the skills that He gave me and continue to put my faith out there, continue to let others know that that's what helped me. It could be an option for them. But don't ever underestimate the power of faith. So many of you have mentioned God in your comments to me, and I appreciate it. Continue to reach out and let me know your favorite scripture, your passage, whatever gets you through the day. I'll wrap up in this. I listened to a TED Talk that an acquaintance sent to me last night, and this acquaintance and I knew who each other were, but we've never really talked a whole lot. But we connected through my story. We connected knowing some similar people, and he sent me this link, and it was talking about ways to get past the struggles in life. And there were 3 principles, and I thought that this was outstanding. The first principle was to be authentic. And that is something that is very hard for people to do, to be authentic. I went into an interview just yesterday, and I talked to 3 different people. And I very well could have skated around why I'm looking for a job. But one thing I wanted them to know, and I made it clear, is I've faced adversity that I have overcome and came out better on the other end. And I handed each and every one of them an article from the Kansas City Star and said, this is what you'll find if you do a background check on me. I've had a DUI. I've had a leaving the scene. And it does not define me. It will never define me. I was authentic. The second one is to do uncomfortable. So the second one is surrender the outcome. So when I was in my interview and I gave that information to them, I let go of the outcome. That could have impacted their decision. It might impact their decision. But I surrendered the outcome because I'm living the way I'm supposed to be, authentic. And that's not easy. That's one thing that causes anxiety, is not being able to control the outcome. Do what you know is best, hold to your values, and let the outcome come out as it should be. It will happen the way it's supposed to be. Maybe not the way that you want it to be in the moment, but reflect back on life and how many times that you've wanted something in the moment to end up that way. You went through and you faced disappointment when it didn't, and then at the end the outcome actually became better than you could have wished for. That's surrendering the outcome. And the last one is doing uncomfortable work. This journey right here is uncomfortable work. It's talking publicly about my life. It's exposing my family, my in-laws, my parents, to having their friends who knew nothing about it, and hearing the story of someone close to them. It's uncomfortable to be judged. We've had several news articles come out, and some people don't want to hear the message. Some people instantly just jump right back in and come at me full bore and say harsh things. And that's okay. I pray for them that my life and my circumstances aren't the most important in their life, if that's what they need. And I pray that they can have comfort in life and find the journey that they need. Those things don't bother me anymore. They used to dig deep. They used to dig very deep. But doing the uncomfortable work to get to the next place, if you can do all 3 of those things, if you can be authentic, if you can surrender the outcomes, and you can do uncomfortable work, then you will continue to soar. So I'll wrap it up with this site again is really focusing on mental health right now, but it is going to be about life in general and how you can conquer life, because a lot of the things that I've learned, a lot of the tools that I put in my toolkit, these would be effective for anyone. It doesn't have to be someone that is bipolar or depressed, has anxiety, that's addicted. These are things that could enrich the lives of all. So I hope that even if you have no connection to mental health, to addiction, to divorce, rough marriages, family chaos, just follow along and see if you can pick up on some things from me and from others that will help you live a more complete life. And for me, that starts with faith, and I'll never forget it.